Hello everybody, this is a video on sustainability in Washington tourist attractions, or more specifically, Mount Rainier National Park. Before we talk about sustainable tourism, we should briefly discuss unsustainable tourism. Unsustainable tourism refers to tourism that fails to conserve tourist resources and or does not support the lives and culture of local people. Examples of this would be cage diving with sharks, elephant rides, tiger petting, and even whale watching. Traveling, more specifically air traveling, is already unsustainable because of the large carbon footprint it leaves when the fuel is burned. Sustainable tourism, also known as responsible tourism, is an approach to travel and tourism that seeks to maximize the positive impacts of tourism while minimizing its negative effects on the environment. The goal is to ensure that tourism is economically, socially, culturally, and environmentally sustainable in the long term. Before we continue, we must understand sustainable tourism and the four pillars that create it. Sustainable tourism consists of environmental responsibility, social equity, economic health, and cultural vitality. Economic responsibility is an ideology based around the belief and practice in making financial decisions based on a commitment in benefiting the environment. Social equity is the focus on social justice and fairness, not to get confused with social equality, which is the state of affairs in which all individuals within a specific society have equal rights, liberties, and status. Economic health is used to promote healthy lifestyles and positive outcomes through the study of healthcare providers, hospitals, and clinics, making healthcare and public health promotion activities manageable. Lastly, cultural vitality is the practice of creating, distributing, validating, and supporting arts and culture as a dimension of everyday life, community life. To understand the practices of the park, we must know the origins of Rainier National Park. Beginning on March 2nd, 1899, after U.S. President William McKinley signed legislation creating the massive volcano Mount Rainier and the area surrounding it a national park in central Washington. The 365 square mile area of pristine forests and spectacular alpine scenery was the fifth ever national park designated by Congress. A national park is defined as an area set aside by a national government for the preservation of a natural environment. A national park may be set aside for public recreation and enjoyment or for its historical and scientific interests while keeping most landscapes and their coexisting plants and animals in their natural state. Rainier National Park is a combination of both. Since the park is ran by Nationwide National Park Service, inventory and monitoring of the park conducts long-term ecological research within national park sites. Collaboration among a variety of partners will provide valuable data to park managers and the public. Rainier National Park also permits hiking and camping to the public for recreational purposes. When it comes to sustainability, park management states, we all share the responsibilities of caring for our environment and conserving natural resources. Staff at Mount Rainier National Park are involved in implementing sustainable practices. We do these things out of concern for the environment and as part of our association with the Greening of the National Park Service program. The program encompasses energy efficiency, green purchasing, recycling, and environmental design. Here are a few examples from the environmentally friendly projects and practices at Mount Rainier. Firstly, they conduct an environmental analysis on the construction and design of projects. The park is engaged in a wide variety of planning and construction projects that have the potential to impact the park resources, including air, water, plants, wildlife, historic structures, etc. To determine what those impacts might be, the park conducts an environmental analysis. Resource professionals and other staff engage in collaborative planning to identify the best possible alternatives with the least possible impacts. This is an example of economic responsibility. They also use a hybrid solar energy system in the White River area. The solar system replaced a generator-only system. It produces 85% of the electricity required for the area, reducing the generator-supplied energy to 15%. The benefits of this system are reduced fuel consumption, reduced emissions, reduced noise levels, and lower operating costs. This is another example of economic responsibility. The national park also focuses on using new green products as they are developed. One of the park's generators and all of their diesel vehicles now run on special emissions, reducing fuel made with soybean-based, low-sulfur fuel. Additionally, in the park, they have hybrid vehicles, which combine as a traditional internal combustion engine with an electric motor in order to reduce gas consumption. As an Energy Star partner organization, they are committed to lowering their energy consumption by purchasing Energy Star rated devices, including refrigerators, furnaces, and computers. The park also uses energy efficient lighting, including compact fluorescent light bulbs. This once again is an example of economic responsibility and groups in with economic health as well. The park reduces their consumption of resources by reusing and recycling products. In addition to the usual items, aluminum, plastic, glass, and paper, they recycle scrap metal, used oil, batteries, and a number of other items. They also purchase recycled products including plastic bags, picnic tables, lumber, pre and post consumer recycled paper, and automobile parts. In addition to recycling, park concessions collect food waste from compost and donate used cooking oil to be converted into biodiesel. This is more of an economic health example, but still taps in with the economic responsibility. Now you may be thinking, that's cool and all, but where's the examples of cultural vitality and social equity? Well, I'm glad you asked. Mount Rainier National Park engages with local communities to implement cultural vitality often, as it is key to sustainable practices. The park may collaborate with nearby communities for resource management, employment opportunities, and cultural preservation. Mount Rainier National Park collaborates with many indigenous tribes as well because they know that the land is their ancestral homeland. These tribes include the Cowlitz, Muckleshoot, Nisqually, Puyallup, Saxaquin, Yakima, and Coast Salish people. By following their elders' instructions passed through generations, these indigenous people remain dedicated caretakers of this landscape. Their traditional knowledge and management of the sacred land will endure in perpetuity, and we honor each nation's traditions of landscape stewardship and our endeavors to care for, protect, and preserve the features and value of the mountain. The park also practices social equity by encouraging visitors to follow leave no trace principles, which include practices such as picking up all trash, staying on designated trails, compostable/biodegradable products instead of plastics, and minimizing campfire impact. Leave no trace principles would also mainly be applied to campers in the area. Just some rules like be careful where you choose to camp, where you stake your tent, and what you cook/eat while you're there. Mount Rainier National Park also shows more social equity by employing approximately 125 permanent employees. Between May and September, the peak visitation season, an additional 175 temporary employees may be hired. Temporary positions include laborers, maintenance workers, and biological technicians, visitor use assistants who handle fees at the entrance station and campgrounds, and park rangers. There are also a limited number of openings for clerical staff, trades, and craft professionals. To recap and wrap things up, we have discussed unsustainable tourism and sustainable tourism and how sustainable tourism is implemented into the Mount Rainier National Park in Washington State. If you have learned anything new or have anything I should know, feel free to comment below. And with that being said, thank you for your time and attention.